This video was recorded with the AverMedia Live Gamer Portable. Skip it up and that up! You know what? I'm gonna stop imitating Chris Crocker and let the dude himself defend Microsoft. So, Chris, have at it.
All you people want is more! Leave it alone.
Okay, let me cut that off before I vomit. So anyway, former Microsoft executive Peter Molyneux is white knighting for Microsoft right now, saying a lot of the backlash people had against them is unjustified. This is what he has to say. He starts off talking about their DRM policies. It's quite an unfair thought that Microsoft are trying to control our gaming. They were. Okay, anyway, continuing. They're trying to force us to be online all the time. Again, they were. People didn't really think that through. Yes, they did. They were trying to keep us online. If you were anywhere that you could not get internet access for 24 hours, which when I have snowstorms here, I keep my power, but usually I lose my internet, I go without internet for 24 hours. So if I wanted to play a single player game like BioShock Infinite, I would be screwed. So Peter, they were trying to control my gaming experience. But let me continue. Peter goes on to say, I know Microsoft. I know they were only doing things because they thought they were long-reaching and long-thinking. But the world we live in now is that we have to realize, especially if you're a big corporation, if you make one step wrong, the world will leap on you, and unfairly, very unfairly, they will judge you. Welcome to the human race, Peter. That's any aspect of life, not just being a big corporation. People are quick to judge with anything, so let's not get melodramatic here, dude. Whether as consumers we like it or not, I love that line. Basically, he's saying, even as a consumer, you don't have a choice. You just have to take what people dish to you. Just like every form of technology interaction, there is an inevitability of online. We know that online is so much a part of our existence now that we're going to be in a world very soon where we have to be online all the time. A mobile device is more and more non-functional without a connection to the internet. And why should that be any different for consoles? Let me refrain until I'm done reading what he says. If you have an online experience where millions of people interact together, something unique happens. And we don't use that enough in gaming. What? Okay, let me start from the beginning before I rip him a new one on that one paragraph I just read. So let me address the whole thing where he's like, you know, it's unfair to say they were trying to take control of gaming. Well, they were trying to take control of how you traded in games. You had to go to places that were approved by Microsoft. You had to install the games to your hard drive. You would have to go online at least once every 24 hours so the console could check in or it would become a brick. So if you wanted to do like my friend, I keep bringing him up. He's probably sick of me talking about this one analogy, but it's perfect. Where he was going like to a family event on vacation and he wanted to play BioShock Infinite on his PS3 while his wife was sawing wood next to him in the hotel. If it was on the Xbox One and all of those policies were still in place and he didn't have internet in the hotel, which he didn't, guess what? His console would become a brick until he got back home and had internet again, so he wouldn't be able to play the single player experience of BioShock Infinite because he didn't have an internet connection. Is it going to be often? Do we live in a connected world, Peter? Yeah, I could go into Best Buy with my cell phone and have Wi-Fi right there. I get what you're saying, but when people spend $500, half a grand on a product, even if they don't have access to all the features because they're not online, they don't want the product to become a big plastic brick, numbnuts. Then you went on to talk about how Microsoft was, future-proofing themselves. They know what the future is, and they were future-proofing the Xbox One to make it always online and be always connected, because that's where everything is going. I agree with you. 5 years from now, probably 90% of the games are going to be downloaded instead of purchased at a store. Maybe more like 7 years, but it's inevitable. It's coming. Cloud gaming and digital distribution, whether you like it or not, I'm reluctant to have it totally take over. It's the future. But Microsoft was trying to shove it down people's throats, and people weren't ready for it yet. Like I said in another one of my videos, I was even semi-reluctant with it. And you know what brought me onto it? Like I said in the other video, I bought Fear 2, and Fear 2 required Steam, and then I realized how good Steam was. You have to ease people into it, give them the option. Okay, so let's say it isn't coming out for the Xbox One, I don't think, but Batman Arkham Origins, if it was coming out for the PS4 and Xbox One, give people the option. Hey, you could buy this game at the store for $59, but if you download it digitally, it only costs $49. So there's a value to it. You give them a choice. You don't say, screw the consumer having a choice. We're going to force them to do it a certain way. And that's where Microsoft failed. They failed to give people the option and let them realize the benefits of what they were trying to do. They were just going to tell them, this is how it is. Screw you, you're going to take it. That's where they screwed up, Peter, and I hope to God you actually see that. Then you go on to say how devices are already gimped if you aren't connected to the internet. Let me tell you something. Okay, I can't access Google Play or go on the internet on my smartphone and my tablet, but every app I've downloaded, every game I've downloaded, if there's video on my tablet or smartphone, I can watch it and play those games and use my applications, as long as the internet isn't required for them. So I don't know what device you're using, but my Evo V and my tablet both work just fine, and the applications I have on there, they don't stop working because I don't have an internet connection. Get real, man. What planet are you from? Now, this one is a shit kicker. It's such a shit kicker that I'm going to read what Peter said again. This is what he said. I said it before. I'm going to say it right now again. If you have an online experience where millions of people interact together, something unique happens. And we don't use that enough in gaming. So I have another article open here, Peter. In Call of Duty, the series as a whole, there's been 32.3 quadrillion shots fired online, and there has been 25 billion hours logged into Call of Duty. So we haven't used online enough yet with gaming? Really? Now, I understand you're talking about new experiences and new types of games coming out. I get it. But for the technology that we have had, we've utilized online gaming plenty. Okay, so for you to come out and say that we haven't used it enough, for the technology that we've had, we've used it just fine. And having DRM and having our console checking every 24 hours or it becomes a brick isn't going to make the online experience any better. Give me a break, man. I don't live in Neverland. Look, whether or not Microsoft had noble intentions is not the point. So Peter, even if they were all about gamers and they were really excited and they meant well with all the features they originally implemented with the Xbox One, welcome to capitalism, buddy. They failed to sell it to the public. That's how it works. Look at Steve Jobs. I mean, I don't agree with everything the man did. He's dead now, but you know what? That guy could sell you a turd. He could walk out on stage and have been like, oh yeah, one more thing. He could go pinch a loaf in the bathroom, come out with that turd and be like, introducing the iTurd, the most exciting thing to happen to your butt since the asshole. And people would be cheering and flipping out because he knew how to sell his product. He knew how to approach people, and Microsoft approach people very poorly. And I still don't agree with all the policies they had to begin with, no matter how they sold it. But not only did they have crappy policies, they sold those policies terribly on stage when they introduced the Xbox One. That's how it works. You have to not only have a good product, you got to know how to sell it. And Microsoft sure as shit didn't do that right. Anyway, holy shit, this video is almost 9 minutes. All right, I'm going to stop talking now. I just have a lot to say and get very pissed off when people defend Microsoft for what they originally did and don't understand why people are angry. It's like, really? Especially when you're in the business, you really don't get it? All right, folks, make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for supporting Review Tech USA. Now I'm going to go drink a beer.